Welcome to Legal Nurse Podcast. I'm Pat Iyer. This is a podcast that has been sharing content with you, tips, strategies to help you in your business, which I started in September of 2016. We are now in our 9th year, and we love sharing information with you to help you in your practice. Mark your calendars. Our next online conference is taking place February 27, 28, and March 1 of 2025. We have our act together. We've got this conference planned for you and available for you to reserve your seat at the lowest rate by going to lnc.tips/February 2025 virtual. That link again is lnc.tips/February 2025 virtual. There's no spaces in that link at all, particularly between the February and the virtual. lnc.tips/February 2025 virtual. We'd love to have you join us at that conference and get the benefit of the expertise of our speakers and our topics, all designed to give you the knowledge, the support, and the networking that you need as a legal nurse consultant. And now, let's get on to the show. The session that you're about to watch, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel at Legal Nurse Business or listening to it, is a series of wonderful tips from Cheri Martin. Cheri is a LinkedIn expert who brings knowledge to legal nurse consultants about how we can use this powerful social media platform. Here's Cheri. Cheri is known as the social visionary. She is an individual who I have spent many happy hours with as being part of the same mastermind group. And we have worked together on a course that we offered to legal nurse consultants on networking. I believe we put that together in 2020, and we offered it again to entrepreneurs shortly thereafter. And Cheri is a person who long ago recognized the power of social media and the opportunity to use social media effectively to present your services to your ideal clients. So Cheri, I will turn this over to you. I will give you co-host privileges so you can share your screen and let you get started.
All righty, sounds great. Let's hope this computer doesn't. All of a sudden, we had a power surge here, and it was like everything went dark.
Wow.
I know, that's where I got kind of kicked off here. So I'm not seeing share the screen. So there it is. All righty.
Gotcha.
There it is. Okay, let me get this up there. All righty, so I am so excited to be here with all of you. And Pat, thank you, and Barb, for inviting me again to speak here with your LinkedIn nurse consultants. I think I spoke at the first one, which was back in 2020, I do believe. This is your 6th one. So I'm very excited to be here because I'm going to share LinkedIn content and communication success tips. And this is my very favorite subject. However, I am probably betting that each of you, when you began your legal nurse consultant business, didn't really think about marketing or do it because you love marketing. In fact, I'm sure marketing wasn't even, well, it's probably the furthest thing from your mind when you started thinking about running your business here. And yet, as you have learned or are learning as you are building your business here, to obtain attorney clients, you really do need to learn how to market yourself so that you're connecting with those individuals that you want to build relationships with and serve, definitely. So, and also you no longer want to avoid social media. And I know social media, a lot of individuals think it just takes so much time and energy, and you're like, I'm trying to build my business. I don't have time to do all that as well. But some of the information that I've really done some research with is legal nurse consultants that I have spoken with say that, they're kind of reporting that the most success that they are having as far as finding and developing new attorney clients is through social media, and mainly LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is definitely my favorite platform of all the platforms out here. I've been on LinkedIn now since 2007, started training and coaching clients in 2008. In fact, I was kind of going through some of my different tools that I keep track of individuals I've worked with, and I've worked probably with over 2,500 individuals on LinkedIn, helping my clients gain some success here, especially with making sure that they're connecting with the right people they want to connect with. And I know as legal nurse consultants, you really want to make sure that you are tapping into the network where your client, the perfect client attorney, is located. And I will say also, the best thing about any social media tool is that they're free. Everything that I teach on LinkedIn, you can do using the basic free version, which is pretty awesome, right? Because we all want to save money on our budget. We don't have those big marketing budgets when we're sole entrepreneurs. So one of the things I want to, just let you know is that the best social network for legal nurse consultants is LinkedIn. And it is also the largest social networking platform for business to business networking in the whole world. Where I think LinkedIn now has over 800 plus active users worldwide. And yet it's still the most untapped social network out there. So you want to make sure that you're tapping in and using it effectively. And you want to, of course, start by creating that compelling and stellar LinkedIn profile that will definitely help you stand out by showcasing your professional achievements, as well as position yourself as that expert in your specialty, and give you the opportunity to connect with attorneys who are actually seeking your services. And of all the platforms, LinkedIn is the platform that most attorneys are on, especially for business relating. They are on Facebook, but it's a little bit differently on Facebook. They're probably there more for personal than they are for business related content. So on LinkedIn, you know that if used wisely, you do have the best way to find people here on LinkedIn that want to do business with you, as well as it helps you take that cold out of the cold calling. I have never liked a cold call. And I don't know very many of the clients that I've served that have actually liked a cold call. However, when you can actually connect and have some conversations that will deepen that relationship and that moves that relationship along so that you get to know, like, and trust each other, then you have that a greater opportunity to definitely do business together. And also, for example, if you would like to meet, say, a personal injury attorney in your area, LinkedIn actually is the perfect platform for you to open up conversations, as well as, finding the right people in the right places. And how you do that, of course, is through some definitely necessary steps that you need to take. And there are 3 necessary action steps that will actually lead you to your success, and most importantly, distinguish you from other LNCs. Now, these 3 steps are, of course, to connect intentionally, communicate with purpose, and then create relevant content. Because when you actually know your plan, you come up with these ideas for your business, and you have that plan, and then you start taking action, you do become more successful. It isn't just coming on and hoping that by just looking up people and just reaching out to connect and taking it no further. That's not going to happen. That's not going to really bring you the success that you're searching for. You really want to make sure that you look at each one of these individual steps. And so what we're going to do is break them down individually and see what is the best way to connect, communicate, and of course, create, and then get that content out there to your network. So of course, the first one is connecting intentionally. It really is tempting to just start connecting with anybody and everybody when you first get on LinkedIn. I know when I first got on back in 2007, that's pretty much what we did. We didn't have any intention. We didn't really know how to utilize the tool. So we started connecting with pretty much everybody we knew, but we really didn't think through why we were connecting. And that's what I really want you to think through and have the reason and knowing why you're using LinkedIn and what you really want to have happen with the activity and the actions that you take here on the platform. It's, when you begin building community by connecting with only the relevant people you start expanding your network, because you start with people you do know, and then through those individuals, you get introductions, or you start meeting individuals that they're connected with. And so one of the things I always say is start with some of your friends or other associates that you have a good relationship with. And, those are individuals that you can, you already have have had conversations with. You can build your connections from there. In fact, if there's someone within their network that you're interested in meeting, chances are they will then definitely introduce you. It's a great way to really expand your reach as well as your network. You can also narrow down the relevancy even more according to your needs, and use, as I said, the connections that you have for introductions to the specific attorneys that you want to meet as well. And that's how you start building your own community. So what you want to focus on definitely is making sure that you are connecting with attorneys that you're interested in doing business with. You want to use because I should say, first of all, make sure you're clear in who your ideal target attorney is, the type of attorneys you want to connect with, so that you know who it is you want to connect with, and that way you're not connecting just randomly with all attorneys. And then also use the LinkedIn filter to really do a deeper search to find those attorneys to connect with. What they do is that, for example, with the way the filter works on LinkedIn is, if you wanted to say search for a medical malpractice attorney, you can break that search down by company location, as well as industry, company size, perhaps job listings that you've seen that they've posted out there, and even their first connections. Because again, when you do that deep dive search on specific attorneys, you may see that there are some of those first connections. The first connection is individual you're actually connected with. That is who then you could actually reach out to and say, I would really love an introduction to this attorney that you're connected with, and have a conversation about why. And always understand that when you ask for an introduction to someone, you do not want to go in and start selling your services to them. What you're doing is getting that connection, so you can start developing the relationship and have that client attorney start to get to know you, so they think of you and you're top of mind with them when they're looking for someone that has the services that you offer. And then, most importantly, you want to make sure you're focusing on quality and not quantity. So many of us get so hung up with wanting to have all these connections, thinking that's how we're going to grow our business. And I will say that it is really best to be connected with, say, 10 attorney clients that you have a great relationship with, than say 100 of attorneys that really don't know you, that you don't have that relationship with. When you have a smaller group and you've really built that community with that know, like, and trust, and they know exactly how it is that you serve them and what you offer, chances are, again, you're going to be top of mind when they're thinking and needing someone that offers the solutions that you do. And I like to say that what you're focusing on is building those relationships, that know, like, and trust factor. But you also want to be known before you are actually needed. That is why we are active on these platforms, to make sure that people are getting to know you and that they think of you when they need your services and solutions.
Before we continue,
Hi, my name is Crystal Keller. I've been a legal nurse consultant for over 30 years. Pat Iyer is one of the most well-known and respected pioneers of legal nurse consulting. She has not only been the past president of the American Association of Legal Nurse Consultants, but also she has a successful business and has written and contributed to many textbooks, including the Legal Nurse Consulting Principles and Practice. Most recently, I have had a chance to attend her virtual Legal Nurse Consulting Success Conference. And what I'd like to say is a couple of things. Number one, the fact that it was virtual made it very convenient, very affordable. You didn't have to worry about taking time away from either your business, your work, or your family. And also it was very affordable, so you didn't have to worry about traveling and hotel expenses as well. What I found in the conference is that this conference, the content ranged for anywhere from new legal nurse consultants who are just starting or thinking about starting this journey, all the way through experienced legal nurse consultants. It varied anywhere from the fundamentals of building your business, all the way through marketing, expert witness testimony, and beyond that. I found that the speakers were very dynamic, and the entire conference was very interactive, which was helpful. We had breakout sessions. We were able to review a case and critique. We also discussed expert testimony and what to say and not say, and how to avoid the traps on the stand. So I feel that as though this was one of the most wide-ranged conferences that I had been to in quite some time. Like I said, it's anywhere from, new legal nurse consultants all the way through experienced. So I encourage you, if you have the opportunity to attend any of the legal nurse consulting success conferences, I would highly recommend it. I believe it would be something that you would get so much from, and it's a great networking opportunity as well.
Now, when you communicate with purpose, I wanted to share, first of all, that social media, all of the social media platforms are not sales tools. They are communication tools, and that's why we have to focus on communication. In fact, Peter Drucker says the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. In other words, what are you listening for? Are you hearing what is being asked when you are having conversations? Your skills and your knowledge as a legal nurse consultant are very valuable. Yet to your attorney client, the service you provide is not as important as how you provide the service. Let me say that again. Your service that you provide is not as important as how you provide the service. So by really listening to what the attorney clients that you're connected with are saying and talking about and asking, you realize that you want to come to them with sharing the benefits of what is in it for them, how it will serve them, not exactly what you do. They want results. They don't really want so much to know exactly how you're going to give those results. They just want to be confident that you're going to be able to provide those results. So make sure that you're definitely sharing with them how your services can provide the solutions to them. And also listening to the frustration and hearing the difficulties that your attorney client is facing, then focusing on how to really provide those solutions to those particular issues, and communicating to them that you understand exactly what it is they want. This is what will really set you apart from other LNCs out there. It really is how well you listen. And then other means of communication on LinkedIn is really crafting a sequence of the messages that motivates a connection to engage with you more. And it does take some skill and patience to do that. So here are a few things that you can actually do. And these are some best practices that you want to do on a consistent basis. Definitely start conversations by sending a thank you message when you are actually sent a request to connect and you accept that. Make sure you reach out to them after you receive and connect, and then let them know that you're appreciative that they reached out to connect with you and you're looking forward to getting to know them or networking with them. That's pretty much just letting them know that you are grateful that they have decided to connect with you. And also, when your invitation to connect is accepted, there are many times that I know that I might have reached out to someone and they connected with me, but I never heard from them. They don't start any type of conversation. So make sure that you actually also take that initiative and start the conversation and let them know that you're excited that they've decided to join your community. And then, of course, commenting on your connections, posts, and articles. And this is all to stay top of mind so that you're seen. And the great thing is that when you're communicating on LinkedIn and that news feed on other of your other connections content, other individuals that see the content that you've actually created or commented on, they start seeing you in that thread of conversation. So now you're going to be seen by others that may not yet be in your community. And then there's those LinkedIn groups. And I know that some people say, oh, LinkedIn groups, I don't get any, business out of there. They just don't work for me. Shift the mindset, because find those LinkedIn groups that really relate to your business and have prospective attorney clients as members. And then really get active in those groups. Not only is it a great way to introduce your business to other members in those groups, but it also provides the opportunity for you, for that attorney to actually get to know you. Maybe they're not in your network yet, and now they're getting to know you a little bit better by your communication and your activity in these groups as well. And then most importantly, we always want to be nurturing the relationships that we have by sending compelling messages that are really significant to that person. And it can be really simple. Perhaps you read an article that you thought they might be interested in. So you want to send a message to them and give them a link to that article and just say, hey, I was reading this and I thought of you and I thought you might enjoy it as well. And then there's also other simple ways is that if there's a birthday, just send them a birthday greeting, wish them a happy birthday, or perhaps they have a job anniversary, or they started a new job, or maybe a client attorney just went to a new law firm. What a great way to send them that little message with a little note and just congratulate them. These are all ways that you can really tap into your network by communicating with purpose so that you will be seen and be top of mind, and again, be known before you're needed. Takes a little time, but it is definitely worth it. I cannot tell you how many clients that I have worked with that says just by taking that little step, maybe 3 minutes of their time to wish somebody a happy birthday that maybe they had not communicated with in a while, it gained attention, and it brought that person that they reached out to take that next step and maybe email them and say, you know what, let's have a conversation. I have a client for you. Want to get your take on something. You never know what those little simple steps that you take can happen for you when you start communicating and having those conversations. Oh, content. I'll tell you. I know that creating content can take a lot of time and energy. And sometimes on these social media platforms, and LinkedIn included, you feel like that's all you're doing is posting content. Well, I mean, there's definitely strategies that you can set up and scheduling tools as well. However, when you create unique, timely, relevant content that is especially interesting to your audience, and you're creating that content with them in mind, it is the most effective way for you to market your services on these platforms, especially LinkedIn, because one of the best ways that you can really ensure that you are found by those seeking your expertise and your services is to consistently distribute content that can spark new sales conversations with attorney clients. And that's why I always say, write for your audience, not for you. Understanding who that ideal client is and what they're interested in and what they would find relevant and would gain their attention. And when you take the time to create that type of content, it definitely gets you noticed out there as well. Now, there are a number of types of content that you can create. These are 5 of the newer types of content for better engagement. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that we're getting some engagement, some activity, because every time you get activity or engagement on content that you create, those filters on LinkedIn take notice. And the more engagement, the more activity, the more your content basically gets pushed out into that news feed in front of more people. So the first one is posts. And, posting content is just, typing something in that little text box. However, there are 2 types of content that you really want to take notice of and do more of. Now, if you are a blogger, bringing your blogs in to LinkedIn just by basically giving a little teaser. You're not putting the whole blog right there in the post. You're just going to give a little teaser, a couple lines, a paragraph. And what is great about that, it is so valuable because you're going to provide a link that's going to take them to read the full blog, which of course is on your website. And we really want to make sure that we are driving our connections to our website where they can actually find out more information about you. Perhaps, and I highly recommend that you have what is called an opt-in or a lead capture on your website that will provide another form of information that is interesting to your prospective attorney client, where they want to give you something of value, which is their email. And then in return, you're going to send them it could be an article, it could be an ebook, it could possibly be a video, it could be an audio series, a tip sheet, something of value, some great information that is relevant and unique to that prospective client. And I like to say that when they give you that email and you give them something of value, they now have the opportunity to flavor you and get to know a little bit more about how you serve and what your services can do for them. So that's what I love about driving that traffic to the website, and blog posts do that. And then also carousel posts. These are relatively new on LinkedIn. And what makes a carousel post so awesome is actually provides a multiple visual post. In other words, multiple images in one post, like in a PDF, that when an individual clicks on it and then it gives them an arrow, they swipe through it. And what makes these carousel posts so valuable is, one, it allows you to break down a specific topic into smaller chunks. Also, you can maybe provide a little mini tutorial and map out a process of some sort. This is the type of post that will gain attention. In fact, the benefits there's 3 really main benefits of a carousel post, and that is They help you tell a story. And we know that stories sell, facts tell. We want to make sure that we're really getting those stories out there. It also gets you so much more traffic on your LinkedIn profile. And then it drives more engagement, which is, again, another thing we want to have more of on these posts, because what happens, the filter takes notice. So these carousel posts are really a fun way to really get more content in front of your audience there. We then have third-party content. And what I love about third-party content is you don't have to create it. It actually is content that you are curating. You're bringing it from another source. So you're becoming a resource for your audience. It kind of, I guess you could say, keeps them in the know without them having to go take the time to go find it. You're finding it for them. So one of the things you can do is definitely be curating industry news of interest to attorneys. And article writing. I love the platform on LinkedIn. It actually allows you to bring almost like a blog, and you can create that right on the platform in the article area. And this, what it does, it allows you to publish perhaps maybe some legal nurse consulting articles. Also, it potentially gets a higher amount of views, because not only does your individuals that you're connected with in that first tier, others in that maybe some second tiers that are connected to people you're connected with will also see it. So it gets a greater reach. And you can even share it into different groups, which is awesome as well. And the native video, what a native video is basically is it's uploaded directly to the LinkedIn profile platform. It's not bringing a link from YouTube. So you can do this live or pre-recorded. I do a lot of recordings on my phone, and then I upload those to the social platform. Or you can do the live. And I know that Pat, I believe, shared how to do a live video here on LinkedIn with you yesterday. And again, these are types of content that gain greater attention with your audience, and it will get you that more attention and become much more engaging. And then we have the LinkedIn polls. And again, this is one of another newer type of post. And again, the thing about LinkedIn polls, that it usually reaches 3 to 5 times more people than an actual just post without a poll. And what polls can do, some of the ideas is, you can launch a discussion about a subject relevant, again, to your business that will attract that ideal client attorney.
What I enjoyed taking away from Cheri's program is the idea of using a variety of ways to post on LinkedIn, from articles, posts, native video, sharing other people's posts, and running polls. And there are many other ways of sharing information on LinkedIn. Try them. I would love to hear from you in terms of your success and what you've learned from Cheri and what you put into action. You can reach me at patiyer@legalnursebusiness.com. Coming up next in Legal Nurse Podcast, you'll have an opportunity to hear from somebody who works behind the red line, which is in the operating room, after which point people have to be in their sterile garb and locked in place as surgical people. Anna Gray is an RNFA, and we'll talk about what that means in the podcast. I'll now ask Anna to share with you what are some of the topics that we covered in your show.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, we covered the culture of the operating room, what legal nurses can expect when it comes to an RNFA, and communicating between surgeons and the operating room team, how to handle a crisis in the operating room, and how that teamwork communication is important, and really the advantages and why an RNFA exists in the operating room. We talked about what training is involved in becoming an RNFA.
And for those of you who don't know the initials, it just occurred to me as I was listening to you, Anna, an RNFA is an RN who is a first assistant, who stands across the table from the surgeon and works in the operating room to assist the surgeon with the procedure. Be sure to come back to the next show or click on down below and listen to Anna's program on the role of the RNFA and how that role becomes important in helping to achieve optimal patient outcomes in the operating room. Thanks so much. Thank you for being part of our audience of Legal Nurse Podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this session and you got some great tips from it. I would love to see you at our February 2025 LNC Success Online Conference. That will be our 11th conference, taking place February 27, 28, and March 1. You can get your ticket by going to lnc.tips/February 2025 virtual. I'd love to see you there.